Here we go, just like it says in the title. It's my birthday present. Well, actually, being truthful, it's birthday Christmas from Lynn and from Daniel. And been waiting for this. It was supposed to be the day after my birthday, the 23rd of October, but that didn't happen. It was delayed. The Quake Groms are in. The Gorgon ones, they were supposed to be coming in, they haven't arrived. So, first of all, we got a warranty card. And there it is, the Quake. I'm not going to go too into detail, everyone else has done that, but I think it's got improved parts like metal geared servo and metal gears all the way through, so the bit of extra cost over me granite Grom is understandable, and plus it's more of a monster truck. As you know, I never got on well with the granite, but that's partly because it overheated and you burnt yourself on it all the time, and it wasn't the greatest design. Let's see what we've got in the box. Straight away, a piece of card. That was nice and easy to get out. I've got the green one. It looks really bright, the green on the camera, but it's not so bright in real life, but that's the one I wanted. What else have we got? We've got the generic radio, but it has got a colour thing on it, and it does say Quake, so it makes it a bit easier with me. I've got similar controllers. And let's get the box out of the way. I don't need that anymore. So it's set to 100%, that's good. So we'll do the resealable bag. That makes a change, because normally when you get a car you have to cut the bag and you can't reuse it. What have we got? We got a screwdriver, or a hex driver I should say. So that's cool. We've got the little mini charger, a little wrench, useful things, preload spacers, controller battery, and the manual and some sort of card. Like I said, I'm not going too deep. Now to get the body off, the other one, like I said, your fingers were in the way. That was pretty easy. Button underneath, button at the back. So that is way better than what we used to get. Because the thing is, I'm also going to do a couple of upgrades, because I don't feel that bad, the suspension. Because I know Brent over at Adventure Time, his one was a bit used to slap, but I don't know whether it's cold. Yeah, it does slap. So that's a bit of a pain. Now to put the batteries in, positive. Can we get this right first go? Slight pause. Can we get the batteries in? God, I've never had that much struggle to get the battery door closed. But good news, we got power. So let's test it. We'll plug the battery in. That's done. Just going to adjust the motor leads. I don't know if the battery's low or it's just where it's been cold. We'll see how that goes. That's better. Power. Well, considering that's not been charged, that's pretty good. So there it is, the chassis. There's a little cooling fan, which will be a great improvement, because that was one of the problems with the, like I said, with the Grom. It was super hot. This should be a lot better. The only thing I'm going to have to get is a dedicated charge lead. I swear it's got one of these proprietary battery where it's all 3 wires into one. You need an adaptation lead to work with standard chargers, because they always want you to use their chargers and all that. But there it is. I'll probably add a bit more preload at some time if they've got bigger ones. But what I'm going to do is we're going to upgrade it straight off before we go out. I'm not going to do it on camera, but I'm going to change out the shock oils. If I think, maybe not, I might leave that. I don't know, because it don't feel bad. But what I am going to do is, I know they seem to slap underneath, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make up some extra skid plates, and hopefully we can go through the original, use the original screws. Nice, they're 2mm hex. Yeah, they're quite a long screw. Probably could do with slightly longer ones. But I'm going to just sort of make up some little flat skids to go on, just to fit over. Just going to simply design little rectangles, and we'll measure up the holes and all that from the screws. And that should hopefully not take too long. Well, I don't want to start slapping the rear and wearing that out, but I'll probably make a front one, might make a front one as well, because I don't know whether they're universal size wise. It would be cool if we could fit the same on front and rear. No, they're different sizes, and that's got a slight raised bit on it, so I don't know if we can do it. That's the thing. Anyway, I should turn it off. So here we are, and this is just FreeCAD I'm using. It's already named the file as Quake Skids. So first thing we'll do is click on Start and go Part Design. Then you create body, create sketch, and it asks for a plane, and I just pick XY. It's what I work to, and that's how I do it. I've taught myself to do it. And that's the base plane of where we're building. And we're going to need a centered rectangle. So if you go on the center dot, you can see it comes up with a little cross, and that means it's centered. And if you tap while on there, it's centered. Then we go up to the double-ended arrow up here in the constant restraints, and we work out how big we want this to be. So we look at the base of the truck, and if we say 35mm, and then the second one we want, it's like completely covers the area of where these screws are. We need 17. There we go, we've got a rectangle for that shape. Like I said, I'm keeping it simple, and then we'll close, and what we're going to allow for is 2mm of wear and the allowance on the screws, if that makes sense, because the countersunk. So the countersunk depth is roughly 2mm. So we want 2mm, at least 2mm of wear. So I'm going to say 4.5 deep. So you click on pad, and in where it's highlighted, just type in 4.5, and we've got a 4.5 block. That looks a bit thick, but we'll see. It's how it shapes up. It's like it gives it stuff to wear, because I'm allowing to. I might undo that, so if I'm not happy, you undo, and then you have to go here for pad, and you put in 4. So that gives us, yeah, 2 and 2. So we'll click on again, and so it highlights the top, and we'll go to create sketch, and this is what we got. And now we need 4 holes and then 4 through holes, if that makes sense. We can do it either way. So click on a circle, and we just make random circles. And say these are the ones, sort of the counter where the screw's going to sit below. The screw top is 5mm. So I'm going to make them 5.3 because we want them to not grab at all. So you click on constant restraints, and the circle with a line through is diameter. So we make that 4.2, enter, right click to clear that icon, and we click on circle, the one we've done, and then click on the others. So they're all highlighted, and then there's a equal sign, click on the equal, and they're all the same size. Now to work out the distances, from centre to centre, they're 27mm. So we want them 27mm away from the centre line. So what you do is you half it and go back to the double-ended arrow. So 27 is 13.5. So if you click on the centre of the circle, we'll go 13.5. OK, and repeat for the others, and that guarantees it'll be 27 apart. I know this is probably the long way of doing it, but at least I know they're all the same. Now we've got to work out the width across the same way. Get the calipers again, very useful tools. And we've got a measurement of 10mm. So like we did before, we just half it again. So from there to there we put 5. You can actually go from there to there and go 10. Gives you the same position. But this is how I design. I know it's very basic, but it works. I'm very much for using mathematics, which is not too bad. So we know they're all exactly in the same position. Now we close and hit pocket. Now pocket is taking it all the way through because it's doing 5, and you can click on the arrow or just type in 2, which I do. Now we've got the holes only 2 deep. So we want through holes now. So you click on the lower part of the hole because it only designs to the level you pick. And we click create sketch, get it in the center. Now we know we can do it to this center line. So first of all we need a circle. And this time we'll get them all centered first. Don't matter what size they are because we will equal them afterward. Get the correct size I want and then get it equal. So we can still highlight the center line. So all you've got to do is to get them dead center is put in the same results again. So click on that one, go center, and we know it's 5. Then you can go down and go 10. Do the same to this one. 5, and between is 10. Then to the middle, put in the 13.5. And like I said, for every one, it's now they're going to be dead center. Because we're just repeating the stages. As long as you keep your numbers safe, you can do these screw holes like this, which is nice. There we go, last one, 13.5, and they're there. Now we've got to work out the size. Again, we've got to measure the screw, and you want it a slight clearance. So if we go in tight, it's 2.2. So if we make them about 2.4mm, that'll be a good size. So we use the diameter tool. 2.4, wasn't it? Okay. So we got the circle, get rid of our icon, and we do exactly the same. Highlight the first, but make sure you don't cancel it because otherwise it will cause chaos. Go equal, the holes are equal, close, pocket. See, there we got them. It's gone through, so you don't have to worry about adjusting them. So let's get this more central. Now we're going to hold control and try and highlight the edges on each one. So we'll do this in one go. See, all the 4 circles are highlighted, and we go to chamfer, and it will come up with an error. It always does. So we'll put it to 0.75. And it's put the countersunks in. Sometimes you have to reduce the amount, and that's all you do. It will come up with a warning because it says 1mm is too big on the thing, but it's just within the edge, so there's a slight countersunk. Now what we're going to do is we're going to curve the corners a little bit. So we'll highlight 3 because I can get to 3. Be careful when doing this, make sure it's only the corners, and we use fillet, and we'll go to We'll go to 3, then we're going to rotate. Now we can get to the, OK it, and we do the other one. It's got one left, fillet, 3. Now we're going to try and do the top. If this will highlight and fillet, it might do it all in one go, and there we go. We've got a slight curve all the way round, and it's done that to 1mm, so that's fine. And there we go, we've designed a skid plate where the screws will be below, but there's plenty of material to wear off on the rear. So now all you've got to do is click on it and click on up here on file and go export. Let's see what we're in. Desktop, my files, CAD files, and there is a Arrma Grom from previous, and where it says Quake skids and a load of words, as we've only got one like this, take it all off so it's nice and little, and just Quake skids. We save it, and then all we've got to do is open a slicer. Go into documents. That's why I've been doing other stuff. Arrma Grom. See, now on the later ones it actually shows a picture of it. It's improved Cura, and you open it and there it is. We don't need supports or adhesion because it'll keep it nice and clean. Put it on recommended, it's easier, and we just go turn those 2 off, close it away, and we'll slice it, and it'll be 11 minutes. So all we got to do is now get it onto the printer. there we go, the first one's tested. It's nice and chunky, but like I said, it's got a good 2mm wear before it gets to the screws, which I'd rather have that, because if you start wearing the heads off of screws and you're doing damage, well, it's not good, is it? So we'll see how well it lines up. Now, what do you thought? I thought I made those holes big enough on top. Alas, no. So I'm just going to have to redesign them. This happens sometimes. They need a bit more. That's what I said to you. You've got to try and allow over. So all I've got to do is recircle the holes and cut them. We'll reprint them, and we'll get back to this. Well, I finally got the skids done. I was having a bit of trouble with bed levelling. It's probably where the printer's been in the freezing cold the last couple of days, and I redone the bed levelling, and it still weren't helping. But I turned up the Z to 1.86 or 1.9, and that forced it back onto the bed. I fitted them. There we go. You've got 1.2 wear to the screws at the front and 2 at the rear. The oil is now 55, but it still slaps at the rear, but it should be a lot better. But I have increased the preload. I've put the rear preload onto the front, where it had a little thin skinny, barely a millimetre, probably a millimetre, and then I found there were some big ones and I put them in the rear. So it's a bit softer on the front and a bit firmer on the rear. But then the motor is further back, so probably a little bit more weight at the back. But now it's all ready to go. It's got its skids, it's got the oil done. But like I said, I'm not going too deep into it at the moment until I've had it out for a run. But I do like the new body clip system. It's definitely way better. But I hope you enjoyed this video. A bit of 3D designing, a bit of 3D printing, and the car is now protected.